Well, good morning and welcome to the Steakhouse. Good afternoon, actually. It's been a crazy morning already around the house here. We're going to do the live open again because I want to practice. This is a chance for me to practice. Hello, everybody. Dan Vaughn with you, voice the Kansas City T-Bones. Happy Wednesday to you. It's time to talk some T-Bones baseball, the American Association, and all that. Let's do it. How about in 3, 2, 1, here we go. To the show, everybody, as we fade the music down and bring me up right here. We're working on some new bells and whistles, some new toys. I'd actually show it to you, but I'm actually on some new toys and some stuff. So we're not on Be Live today, but we usually use Be Live. We use Be Live for the most part for our interview shows, and then we're using the other software that I use. You may sort of recognize some of this from during the season. Last season, we did this for a cup of sizzles during our weekday shows before T-Bones Baseball. Glad you're along. Glad to talk T-Bones Baseball with you. Good to see everybody out there. Brian, GM, Donna, others. Good to see Miller times 2. Good to see Jeff this morning. Good to hear his voice on the conference call with the T-Bones. Glad you're along. T-Bones, of course, in dry dock, if you will. We're not playing T-Bones baseball right now, but the league's playing, and we're all fired up for that, all excited about the league doing their thing. But the T-Bones are in dry dock. But there's a lot of things going on with the T-Bones, at least a couple things on the field in the association. And one exciting thing going on we talked about last week, but I'm going to give you a bit of an update on that today. Not a lot today on the show. This is kind of the midsummer. There's mostly T-Bones things to talk about. Player of the week as well, and pitcher of the week as well. And the American Association, put my script down right there. You know what I didn't put in there? I was all excited about this, and I can probably do this right now while we're doing this. I'm going to switch back to this other camera here. One thing I didn't do is I didn't put in a T-Bones graphic. So while you let's just do that while we're having fun here, and to show you how much fun this is to do this. But I'm going to put a little T-Bones graphic up there on the screen so we kind of know that we're talking about the T-Bones. I don't know why I didn't. Don't even have any clue why I didn't put this up, but. All good. I was all excited for this because again I'm using this is like I'm not sure how to compare this to in your field. It's a oops, watch this. It's going to probably go crazy on our screen here. Yeah, it's going to be a little large. Let me bring it down here. But I'm trying to compare it to something maybe that you guys might do in your line of work. I don't really know what to compare it to, but sorry about that. Sorry. I am all excited about it, but again, it's let's make this fit to the screen here. Oh, well, forget it. Well, I was just trying to do something fun, but forget it here. I was trying to. There we go. Oh well. Good to see Kevin out there. Let's see. I think we should talk about how the Red Raiders. Yes. Good news, Kansas City. Now, I told this is a joke I told to my T-Bones brethren this morning. Now, it's very good news, as you may have seen. Patrick Mahomes. This is Wednesday's Wisdom for you, by the way. Brought to you by Wednesday's Wisdom. Wednesday's Wisdom, we take a peek at baseball, either the past or a nugget of genius. And in this case, this is more or less a tongue-in-cheek nugget that I found very interesting as far as the grand scheme of things. And did you know, with Patrick Mahomes buying a chunk of the Royals, that now the Kansas City sports landscape, the professional sports landscape with the Chiefs and the Royals, did you guys know that those two owners are Texans? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think not. I did tell that joke this morning to to Chris Brown, Morgan Kalinda, Nick, who else is on there? Jeff. There was Jim Condit was on there too. But I did tell that tongue-in-cheek joke this morning. So yes, good news. The Chiefs and the Royals have Texas ties. And the T-Bones have me. How about that? So I mean, it's like a three-way boom. That's awesome. I'm going to try this again here to see if I can load this in there for us again. And we're kind of playing around a little bit. This is, again, my new bell and whistle, so to speak. And I'm using a new toy. I'll bring this logo up here. See if I can bring it into our show. There we go. Give me just a momento. See, it covers me up, so I want to actually have that not happen. So we're going to do a little... not sure how to do this, but maybe you can't do it in the air. That may be what the deal is. That may be what it is. That may be that I can't do it. Well, I thought, because that's the one thing about Be Live that I could do that I can't do. So I didn't put a logo up today, so that's all my bad. But yeah, see, it covers my face again there. Anyway, you guys are probably tired of this. That's Wednesday's Wisdom. And again, T-Bone's not playing, but a lot of things going on with the T-Bones. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the American Association off the bat here. And that, why does that look? That logo is great, but I'm like, it's almost covering my face there. Again, we haven't used this in a while, so bear with me. But again, Players of the Week and Pitchers of the Week named by the American Association. We're going to get to that right now, but it was a very good week for John Silviano of the St. Paul Saints. John Silviano.
St. Paul was stranded 2 runners at third in this game. Bowman pitches. Hit hard right side.
There we go, because that's a little loud. There we go. Not one, but two, but 3 home runs for John Silviano for the St. Paul Saints. A 4-hit game, an RBI, the 4 straight ball games of the week, ending July 21st through 26th. So he's the American Association Point Streak Player of the Week. Final of a 3-game series against Sioux Falls. He went 4 for 5 over the weekend, a homer, 3 driven in. Went 3 for 7 over a course of ball games in that series. Hitting .268 for the season, 5 homers, 17 driven in, and 20 RBIs, 82 at bats for him. 26-year-old spent last year with the Saints, part of the season. Spent about 2 months with them last year. Hit .241, 13 long, 38 driven in, 57 ball games for the Saints, part of their 2019 championship season. Former Miami Marlin organization a couple of years ago in 2019. He also was drafted by the 13th round by the Blue Jays out of Summit Christian in Florida, down in the Tampa area. Spent 3 seasons in the Blue Jays organization, but only played in just the 80 ball games in that stretch. But again, John Silviano is the Player of the Week in the American Association. That's, of course, by Point Streak. Point Streak is the official service that does the stats and what have you for the association. I'm actually going to kind of turn this. As I do this, oh well. I don't mind it. It's kind of the logo looks great, but it's right over my face. So I don't know if I can actually adjust that logo. Let's see if I can. If I can, that'd be great. But I don't think I can during the actual show. But all good. No worries. It's just going to cover the forehead up there, but it's all good. Okay. Love the transition. So cool. Yeah, some cool stuff there. That was kind of cool. Did you guys like that? Should I show that to you guys again? Let's show that to you guys again. This is kind of cool. This is some of the bells and whistles we've been working on. I'm kind of a proud papa here, so I'm going to show it right here in this next highlight. You're going to see it kind of transition. This is a discovery I made this week. This is me learning this summer. So it's not all been lost for me. Seeing that kind of cool, that's kind of a cool little transition there. So all not lost on me this summer, getting a little bit of extra work there. So yeah, the transitions are cool. So John Silviano is the Player of the Week in the association. Pitcher of the Week Although I think Frank Duncan, the former Jayhawk, and Scott Hole, good to see you out there. Jody as well out there. He could have very easily been in that mix, but the pitcher of the week is the Chicago Dogs' Adam Choplik. And Choplik is a guy that I was kind of forgot I was actually using this over here. Choplik is a guy that, there we go. I love when I press the buttons. Choplik pitcher of the week in the association, selected this week, the 21st to 26th of July. He had 3 saves against Milwaukee. All against Milwaukee. Lefty closer, pitched 3 innings, allowed no runs, or hits and walks, struck out 7 in 4 innings. Also struck out the side to close out a single.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Aaron Hill, and the Dogs with back-to-back wins. Adam Choplik, the 6'9" closer, with an emphatic strikeout to finish the job. He's fighting. He's worked the count full and out some foul balls.
20 consecutive innings at one point last year. Carolina earned run for those blue crabs.
Dogs win! A 3-strikeout ninth. Adam Choplik
team down in Mexico,
shuts
former
the door.
Rangers farmhand, 14th round in 2015, as he was the pitcher of the week, rather. Double-A with Frisco last 2018, and last year was in the Atlantic League, other independent league. 6'9", as you may have noticed the video. I'm going to give you that video again. You may have noticed this, but he is the tallest player. I wanted to see that when you watch him. See, yeah, he's pretty imposing. 6'9", not quite Randy Johnson, but close. When you watch him walk off the hill here, you can see it's a pretty big fella. But 6'9", Texan from Denton, Texas, sits down.
Swing and a miss.
Adam Choplik, Choplich. So congratulations, those two. That is the really the big news this week. Besides, and I think 2 things that I'm going to get to in the standings wise. A, the battle we talked about last week, where Chicago and Milwaukee would play 6 consecutive times. That went to Chicago, winning 5 of the 6. Winnipeg, the other big name to note, Winnipeg in the driver's seat right now. I love that ball club, and I told the guys last night on This Week in the Association just how good of the ball club I think they are, and it is like the all-star club of all-star clubs. More on that Winnipeg club in just a moment. Sioux Falls made a move. They did sign Madison Younginger. Younginger is a 9-year minor league experience, and a guy that had a big league call-up in 2016 with the Atlanta Braves out of high school in South Carolina. 7th-round pick in 2009 by Boston, but reached the big leagues with the Atlanta Braves a couple of years back, or 4 years back, but some depth. Sioux Falls, my 2 clubs, St. Paul and Winnipeg, the ones I like of the 6, although Sioux Falls continues to prove me wrong, although I keep saying their bullpen is deep. They just add more to our pitching staff, and we've talked about this in a shortened season, how important it's going to be to have a solid bullpen, a deep pitching staff. So good to see that. But again, there's your news for the American Association. And the show is the Steakhouse. And I don't know why I didn't put the graphic in, but it usually would be on the screen there. But hey, it's okay, because I'm using this really cool. Let me show you how cool this is, just to kind of pull the curtain back. I got this thing called a Stream Deck, and this is going to be great during the season. I'm going to be able to blow through a post-game show pretty quickly. But for example, this is the punch of the button, okay? Just bear with me here. I'm punching buttons. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 4 punches right there, where usually I got to kind of click here and click here, which is fine. That's the fun part about doing this show, so being able to do that right there. But you see that there. There we go, back to another camera angle. How about that? It's kind of fun. Just wish there was a logo there. Again, that's the part I kind of dropped the ball on today, but all good. Okay, well, T-Bones, again, as we mentioned, not playing, but there's plenty of action going on for Kansas City on the field and off the field as well. I want to segue back to that in a moment. Let's go to the association numbers first. Let me pull these up for you. Winnipeg, a game lead. They've won 6 straight in the association. They're 8 of their last 10, 15-8, the best record in the association. Remember, 2 teams make the postseason. Right now, if it would end today, Winnipeg, Sioux Falls, what you're seeing is what I've talked about over and over again. This small sample size, you get really hot, you can really kind of position yourself for a really good situation to be a contender. And I think you're seeing Winnipeg do that, Sioux Falls do that. Those two clubs have had that good stretch. Sioux Falls 5 of 10 this week, but they're 13-8. They've probably been the most consistent team throughout the entire season so far. And because of that, you're seeing the 13-8 record, only a game back, and they have found themselves firmly entrenched in second. Then it drops down by 3 games. Milwaukee, who was the top of the ladder last week, now finds himself 10 up and 11 down. They've dropped 5 straight, courtesy of those Chicago Dogs mostly. And then St. Paul is at 4.5 back. I still like them, 10 and 12. I just don't think they clicked yet, but they will. When they do, it may be that 2 or 3 week stretch, like we talked about on This Week in the Association with Rob Paneer and Kevin Luco. It's one of those deals where a 6-7 game stretch, you go 5-1, 6-1, even a 10 game stretch going 8-2 can really kind of fire you off. Or just a winning streak of 10 ball games can fire you right back in the mix. They've yet to really get their sea legs, but I still think the depth of their pitching staff, and I like their offensive balance. And I think a team with Nate Sampson is always going to be pretty solid. So, and they've got some pop there. I just think they just haven't all come together. I love Chesley Young as well. But I just think they haven't all come together. They sit right in that 4th spot. Chicago may have salvaged their season. I mentioned that a moment ago. The Dogs were the bottom of the cellar. They were 5 back, really more than that. I guess it was 5.5 back last week. They took care of business. Now, granted, everybody in front of them, they didn't climb that high up, but they separated themselves from the bottom, Fargo, who's 7 back, 8 and 15, and they find themselves, 3.5 off the pace of the postseason, playing pretty good baseball till last night. Till, oh, by the way, hello, Winnipeg, who Winnipeg beat them last night, and that took care of business, and the Dogs dropped their first game after winning those 5 in a row. The Dogs are 6 of their last 10, but you're seeing them and then get rolling again. But this is a big series for them. They've got back-to-back big series because, like we talked about, these short seasons, not only these sprints, can you be buried quickly, you can be buried back-to-back. And they just survived a big test. They have this big test now against Winnipeg. They can somehow find a way to ride a couple of ball games here, find themselves at 500, win a series. They can close that gap and find themselves in 3rd position, perhaps knocking on the door for 2nd position. So it's a big week for Chicago facing Winnipeg right now. It's a big series that continues tonight there in the association. But Fargo 8 and 15. It looks like tough times for Fargo. But again, it's one of those deals where you look at them and all these teams are super teams. They're all all-star caliber teams, but for whatever reason, sometimes the pieces haven't fit. And I can't tell you what. I love what Brennan Metzger brings to the table in that ball club. I love Coral Prime. They seem to have some pretty solid pieces. Cito Culver, but for whatever reason, it just hasn't gelled for them right now, and hoping that will. Let's see here. Repping Clark Hunt's alma mater today, Pony Up. I am doing that, yes. As you mentioned, as I mentioned in Wednesday's Wisdom, the Texans taking over. And by the way, Whataburger's coming too. I know my Kansas City mates are probably going, oh, yeah, whatever, but I just had to. That was my Wednesday's Wisdom, and I kind of made up on the cuff. But anyway. Okay, let's continue the show here. Mentioned the T-Bones doing some great things as well. And you look at the leaderboard, and that's one of those places you're going to see some T-Bones connections. All right, here are your batting leaders right now, okay? Here's your average. L.A. Lago, 385, former T-Bone, okay? And that leads the league. Your home run spot, leading the league, Darnell Sweeney with 6. I'll get back to him in a moment. And then you've got Sweeney with RBIs in 21. That also leads number 2 in the league. Mason Davis, Mayday, the former T-Bone, 18 driven in. So, you see that going on right there. Overall, pitching-wise, you've got Frank Duncan, who's got the 3 wins so far. Duncan also finds himself number 2 in ERA. Duncan, the former Jayhawk, at 2.73. We'll get to him in a moment, more in a moment. But getting at least an idea of where the T-Bones stand at the moment. And if you just look overall, former T-Bone Mikey Reynolds, 413 in the average. Lago, 385, right there behind him. And then you've got Swinney at 330. And these are top 10 guys, 3 of the top 10. And then it drops down. Let's check out your doubles. This is where it's going to be fun, I believe, in stolen bases. Swinney, 11 doubles. Lago with 9. Reynolds with 8. Dylan Tice with 8. This is your top 10 now, okay? Roy Morales of 5. So in your top 10, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, your top 12, because you got some guys tied. You've got 4 of the top, listen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 12 spots belong to a former T-Bone or a T-Bone signee from 2020. How about that? Home run-wise, mentioned Swinney leading the league, but RBI-wise, let's check your T-Bones there. As you got Swinney with 21, he's third. Davis, the former T-Bone, is fourth with 18. Then you drop down to Lago with 16. And so that's your top end. And Tice with 13, knocking on the top 10 door. Stolen base-wise, in the category we know the T-Bones are a lethal win. Swinney with 6 is tied for third. And then Tice with 4 is tied for fifth. Mason Davis also tied with him there. And Mikey Reynolds drops down. He's a top 10 with 3. And Roy Morales, did you guys know this? Roy's got 3 stolen bases this year. Roy's catching and playing the DH spot. I think people sometimes sleep on how athletic Roy Morales is. And being able to steal 3 bases and be in the top 10, pretty good early. I know it's a small sample size, but very impressive stuff there from Roy Morales. But good to see that. So there are some of your leaders there. Pitching-wise leaders in the association. Let's check those out here as the association shot pitching-wise. As far as ERA is concerned, amongst the key number. Well, first off, let's go to innings pitched, because I believe you're going to see in that mix, Duncan is going to be fifth in 29 and 2/3 innings. Strikeouts. Oops, sorry, I meant the camera there. Strikeout-wise. Let's looking down that list. Duncan with 22 puts him 3, 6, 7th in the league. But the ERA is what I mentioned earlier. Frank Duncan second in earned run average in the league, and with that 2.73, right behind Dave Holmberg of Milwaukee at 2.43. Those two gentlemen having really good runs right now, and we'll talk more about Duncan in a moment. But there's your leaders, as I mentioned a moment ago. Schedule right now, currently in the association, what's going on as far as where they sit right now. I mentioned that stretch for Chicago, Milwaukee's over right now. You've got St. Paul and Fargo are squaring off at Fargo, Milwaukee and Sioux Falls, Winnipeg and Chicago, and that's where everything stands right now. This weekend coming up, you will we get to the weekend somewhere along here. Here we go. St. Paul and Winnipeg, that's a big series right there coming up this weekend. St. Paul and Winnipeg being played at Newman Outdoor. It's a very big series for St. Paul and really for Winnipeg. Winnipeg and A distance themselves from St. Paul, just continue to roll toward a postseason berth, and St. Paul can get themselves right back in that top spot or number 2 spot as well. Chicago, who we're kind of watching because I think they're playing really good baseball in Sioux Falls this weekend, as those two teams meet there at the Birdcage, and then Milwaukee and Fargo will be there in Milwaukee this weekend. So that is your schedule, the association. That takes us into next week. Which next week, before we come our show next Wednesday, we will be looking at Fargo and St. Paul. That'll be at Sioux Falls, Chicago and Winnipeg at Newman Outdoor, and then Sioux Falls and Milwaukee. Interesting to note, for Chicago, as I mentioned, a big stretch for them. They had the Milwaukee series. They passed that with flying colors. They have this Winnipeg series now to climb back in perhaps next week as well, with another series of Winnipeg on the back end, as they had that bookend series in the middle this weekend with Sioux Falls. Good to see Sam out there. Let's see here. Kevin says, on my way to Fargo now. Good to see Renee out there from Gary as well. Kevin, by the way, and I don't have the graphic up. I can probably put it up for us. Let's pull it up, though. I will do that. I can do this. I can pull this graphic up for us on the fly and do this. But, yes, Kevin, I'm going to pull this back over here. DB Solo. But, yeah, there is well, can I even do that? I think I can. No, can't. I was going to try to I'll pull the graphic up. Sorry, guys. Here's what happened today. I just fell behind schedule. I did all this prep work, but just fell behind schedule. So I do apologize for not having the logos in there. I just hadn't used this in a while, but all good. Okay, mentioned the T-Bone's doing well. Yes, very well. How about the week for Darnell Sweeney? I mean, this guy is just doing phenomenal things for the Winnipeg Gold Eyes. I saw him last night in that ball game with the goalie, and I don't know why that's taking so long. It's a nice shot of the crowd. I'm not sure why that's. Well, let's go to Frank Duncan first. How about that? Let's go to Duncan. There's Frank Duncan right there, because I think I loaded the wrong video in of Darnell Sweeney, and I'll load that in here in just a moment. But Frank Duncan right here. This is a start over the weekend. He got no decision in this ball game, but struck out 5 in 7 innings, and pitched very, very well over the weekend. He definitely is trending upward, is Frank Duncan, no doubt about it. And he is, again, of course, Kansas Jayhawk, solid arm. And you got to figure, you look what might have been. You know, Tommy Collier wasn't coming back. Duncan could have very easily filled that ace role. It looks like he definitely would have, and which would have been a very deep pitching staff along with Eric Stout. And you would have probably had Dylan Baker as a 1-2-3 punch as well. Pretty solid stuff right there, I think. Pretty solid stuff as far as rotation-wise. But Duncan, I'm not sure why that's. Try this Sweeney video again. Let's see if it'll come up for us again. All right. It's not so much Sweeney. It's more the me. It's because I load the wrong video in, I believe. So let's try this while we're here. Well, I'll just go down to this little screen here. And there we go. And let's see while we're doing it. I'll see if I can load in the video, because I did edit the video, but all good. Anyway, glad you guys are along. The show's the Steakhouse. My name is Dan Vaughn. A little shorter show today, as we're kind of trying out some bells and whistles today. And again, I don't know why that did not. Interesting stuff. I don't know why the Sweeney video did not come out, but I'm going to look at and see if it. The Duncan video came out, but Sweeney's coverage for some reason did not. I don't know why. I don't know why. Sorry about that, guys. Oh well. No, I guess you know what? Actually, my bad. It does. It is on there. So it's just the wrong video. That's what it is. It's the wrong sequence. So it's actually on there. So I can actually play Sweeney for you. Just kind of show you what he's been doing. We'll bring this volume down here. There we go. But Sweeney's video is there, so we'll have to kind of bear with it. But Darnell leading the league in home runs, number 2 in RBIs. It makes you wonder, thinking back to last year, from a T-Bone standpoint, it makes you wonder just how good the T-Bones might have been if Sweeney. Let's say Sweeney played last year. He was only there at the ball club through June 9th. Let's say he got the All-Star break in the big leagues midway through the season, the T-Bone season. I mean, let's just say he gets that far. Just how good the T-Bone's offense might have been early. I mean, and think about it. Let's just say Sweeney doesn't get signed by the Pirates. His contract's not purchased. Just how good would the T-Bones been down the stretch last year? I mean, would there ever been much of a doubt? Is it possible that Kansas City would have run away with the entire association last year? I mean, Sweeney just made everybody else around him that much better. And you saw the offense was starting to click early on in June last year, but you put Sweeney's bat in the lineup last year, and that card, it protects guys like Casey Gillespie in the lineup. Suddenly you've got a totally different approach and a lot more pop. And it's really one of those things I keep saying, you wonder what might have been when you think of Darnell Sweeney and what he brought to the table last year for the T-Bones. But very great season. I do have a home run coming to you. I swear there's a home run coming to you. I swear. Here it comes. This is all courtesy of the American Association. By the way, this, I think on a full count, we'll just keep watching this because Sweeney eventually will go yard. But anyway, let's wait for this one right here because he will go see you later. And here you go. I guarantee a home run's coming. This is an odd one. Watch this. It looked like a pop-up off the bat, but that thing got way out over that netting over there. And look at the left fielder. He just kind of pauses and goes, yeah, I think this is probably trouble. And it is. So Darnell Swinney with a home run. That was number 6. That was last night in Goldie's win over the Dogs there in Chicago. Glad you're back. There you go. There I am. Dan Vaughn voiced the Kansas City T-Bones on a T-Bone Steakhouse, the baseball steakhouse, on a Wednesday. I mentioned T-Bone's doing some things on the field, sort of. And this is, again, we talked about this last week with Chris Brown, that the Kansas City Royals are using T-Bone Stadium as their 60-man training complex, what do you want to call it. That's what they're using it for. They're taking BP, doing workouts and simulated ball games. And I got these things, although there was some rain in the metro today, I do have a couple things to show you. First off, these are shots from today earlier. This is the inter-squad game right there at T-Bone Stadium. This is exclusively courtesy of Chris Brown. As you see the photos there, there's Bobby Witt Jr. on the right in the on-deck circle, big prospect for Kansas City. But you can see the ballpark. There's the clubhouse. So they got the clubhouse with the Royals feel to it. That's usually Joe's office right there, but that instead is the way it looks. This is from Nate Miller. This is Miller Time's photo from yesterday's batting practice and infield practice, actually looks like, for the Royals. But get a nice view. And this is from the edge of the work that Miller Time's done. Nate Miller, groundskeeper for the T-Bones, done a phenomenal job. His entire crew has done a phenomenal job with those edges right there. You see that? Just beautiful grass. That grass looks incredible. That was taken late last week. But you see there, and there's a wide shot of their BP right there. But that is the fine work of Miller Time. His fine work, of course, Jeff Miller and others are helping Nathan. Nathan, just, you got to be so excited for Nathan. I mean, here's a guy that, basically kind of caretaking the stadium all summer because we're not playing, then boom, gets this opportunity, and he's jumped on it with full force. I know Chris Brown's excited, and the entire T-Bone family's excited. I had someone on Facebook actually mentioned, why are you so proud of the T-Bones having the Royals out there? But I'm excited for the opportunity for my coworkers, for the hard work they've done. We've had such a long stretch of up and down gut punches left and right, and to finally see something exciting like that happen, it just does my heart good. So I'm very proud of them, proud of what Miller Time's doing, and Brownie and others, Morgan, just the entire staff, what they're doing, the entire group of Mark Brandmeier's group, what they're doing. But to see something exciting to cheer about does my heart very, very good. So that's why I'm fired up about that. Also, check this out. This is a little video from yesterday that Miller Time sent me. This is a good shot of the ballpark before BP yesterday. Look how good that place looks. Look at that. Look at those edges. I mean, that infield is pristine. That's the type of infield you're going to see at a spring training complex. Thus, the reason the Royals and the T-Bones are partnering at T-Bone Stadium right there. That is really, really good stuff right there. I mean, that is phenomenal to see that, and just got to love what they've done with that. This looks great there at T-Bone Stadium. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Great stuff right there from Miller Time and Company. But anyway, those are the items of the day. That's pretty much it. It's kind of a limited show. I don't really have more than that for you guys, except just that we'll be back here next Wednesday, same time, same place, noon. I promised a little earlier. I mean, we were going to go at noon today, but we had, as a homeowner, you guys have all, if you own your own home, you know this. And if sometimes you have folks come by that you just can't avoid having come in to check things out in your house. And we're looking at some things here in the house, and we just the window of opportunity was right there during the middle of our prep time this morning. So all good, but give you guys a pretty good idea of what's going on. A couple of little news and notes. Of course, tomorrow night, if you're so inclined, at 8:30 Central Time, there'll be a show called Talking Baseball Australia right on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook Lives. First off, go to Talking Baseball Australia. Go to that page, and you will see myself and Paul Morgan tomorrow night discussing baseball from an Australian point of view. By the way, congratulations to Aaron Whitefield of the Australian national team. He's also a member of the Adelaide Giants. He is a big leaguer, scored his first big league run over the weekend, made his debut as a pinch runner, and also Lewis Thorpe, a young Australian working the bullpen for the Minnesota Twins. Those two gentlemen, teammates for the Twins. Congratulations, a very big thing. Question by Brian asks, how is the construction at the T-Bones going? Well, first off, let me go back to that. Let me take you back to that shot there real quickly here. That shot right there maybe give you a pretty good answer. That's the clubhouse. And the paint, may not be. But if you look at the roof out that direction, the clubhouse, it's hard. You can't really see it. But I know they've done some phenomenal work with the clubhouse air conditionings and all that have been done. And the padding you can't see from these angles, I don't think you can see from that angle. You really can't. But the seat paddings have been improved. It's an ongoing process for sure. Ongoing process, Brian, as far as the T-Bones getting the ballpark ready. It's a work in progress. Now, anything construction-wise is halted right now because the Royals are on premises right now. Now, when they're done, when the Major League season is over, you'll see them jump back in earnest. I know they got plans to work on a new party area in left field, also a beer garden in right field. Those plans have been laid out, but I believe they're on hold until the Royals are done. The clubhouse work had been done. The new ACs in the clubhouse, some new carpeting as well. That's all been done. They've done some reconfiguring the clubhouse. Of course, the work on the field's been done as well. The new infield, that's all been done, and they're doing some work there. So, and then of course, the new seat cushions have also been done as far as, but everything as far as aesthetically for the ballpark itself has been paused at the moment. Not paused for any more of the reason that they're not working when the Royals are working out, they're not doing any construction. And when the Royals are done, they do the things here and they start to continue. But they can't do a major project right now, especially in the outfield. They couldn't do any kind of construction over the wall because, they don't want to distract what the Royals are doing and they need to get their work in. So that's the update. But yes, construction is on its way, and I guarantee you the ballpark would look a lot different on opening day 2020. That being said, 2021, it'll look even better. So there already been enough work done in the suites as well. That's all been piecing together. So it's a work in progress, but a really positive work in progress. Very good stuff. Yes, we're at the mercy of the contractor. Yes, this morning, my in-laws are great people. I love them dearly, and so I appreciate that. But I couldn't wait any longer to jump on the show. So all good. Okay. Also tomorrow at noon on Mix LR, we'll jump on and do our T-Bones Greatest Hits. T-Bones Greatest Hits tomorrow on Mix LR, and we will preview. I believe we're doing game number 3 of the 2018 American Association Division Series. I believe that's the one I have for tomorrow. I think that's right. Don't quote me on that. Good to see Cousin Blake out there as well. But that'll be tomorrow, MixLR noon. It's live. It's interactive. We replay the broadcast. I sit with you and I'll chat with you, and we'll go back and forth in the MixLR chat. And you can also find those archived on our SoundCloud page as well. Don't forget T-Bone's website, tbonesbaseball.com, T-Bone's Facebook page, T-Bone's Twitter. You'll find this video reposted on the Facebook page, and of course, also on my YouTube page, Dan Vaughn Jr. Go to that YouTube page. That YouTube page can also get you these shows as well. And also, we'll be debuting next week. I'll bring you a new episode of The Broadcaster Can Cook. Yes, he can. We'll have all that for you next week when we return with the Steakhouse right here, talking T-Bones baseball here on a Wednesday. Again, noon next Wednesday on Facebook Live. Again, you can follow me on Twitter, and we'd love to have you do just that. And there we go. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll definitely follow you back too. So check in and get all the updates right there of the T-Bones. Again, hug somebody, virtual hugs to you. Much love to all you guys. Miss you. Hope you're doing well. Keep the faith. The T-Bones will be back in 21. Until then, we'll keep fighting on, doing our thing, and keep getting ready for a fantastic 2021. As we always say, good night, Sizzle. See you guys on Wednesday. Actually, see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow on MixLR, tomorrow night on Talking Baseball Australia. And for you folks on Facebook Live that are friends of mine, see you on Virtual Happy Hour today as well at 5 o'clock. Love everybody. Again, one more time in 3, 2, 1. Good night, Sizzle.